Hi everyone, I'm Eunice. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm gonna pick a book that I want to read next. So I'm soon gonna finish my current read, so I wanted to know what I'm gonna read next. So I'm gonna pick a book from my TBR list. For those who don't know, a TBR stands for to be read. So it's basically a list of books that you have on your shelf that you are planning on reading. So I have quite a lot of books in my TBR, so I'm gonna pick from that TBR the book that I'm gonna read next, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit by doing a TBR jar. So that means I have few books that I've written and I put inside this jar, and I'm just gonna shake it and then pick my next read. So it's basically, I'm just gambling, but we'll see. And also, I want to give you a disclaimer, I'm the final judge, okay? So if I don't like the book that I pick, of course I'll pick another one. No, I want to make it fun also. Hopefully I'm gonna like the first choice. So I'm gonna shake it and then I'll pick my next read. So let's do it. So I picked Chinua Achebe Trilogy. This is just funny because I thought I'm gonna read it during the summer, and I was just like, yeah, maybe it's time for me to pick Chinua Achebe Trilogy during the summer because I won't have class and anything, and I can finish the 3 of them. And I was thinking of reading Chinua Achebe Trilogy, and the fact that I'm picking it from the jar just by randomly like this is just so funny to me. So I picked Chinua Achebe Trilogy. So I'm sure. What? Think here. Yeah, think here. So Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe, Arrow of God, and No Longer at Ease. So I've talked about this book in my previous video. If you haven't watched that video, I'm gonna link it above, and I'm also gonna put it in the description box. I've talked about with Chinua Achebe. I also talk about how I came across this book. Actually, funny story about this book. I'm just the kind of person, I don't like spoilers. I always say that in my videos, I don't like spoilers. So I really mean it. It's really serious to me. I don't like spoilers. Whether it's a movie, even books, I don't like spoilers. So what happened, in one of my class, my teacher was mentioning this book by Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart. And he wanted to read he wanted to read a portion of the book. And where I was seated, I was shaking because I was like, I haven't read that book yet. So literally my teacher is about to spoil this book for me. I was shaking. I didn't know what to do. I was like, you know what? I had to do what I have to do. I left the class. I left the class because I didn't want to hear anything about that book because I was planning on reading it. So my teacher started, when he just opened the book, I left the class. I think it was for 5 minutes, for some minutes. And that was funny to me, but I was like, this is how serious it is for me. I didn't know, I don't know if you understood it. Of course he didn't know, but I left the class and I make sure to just be by the door and make sure that he's finished reading, and then I can go back to the class. That's how serious I am with spoilers. So this is just funny. And when that thing happened, and I just thought, okay, it's really time for me to read Chinua Achebe Trilogy. So it's just funny that I picked it from my TBR jar. So I guess I can no longer procrastinate. It's time to read it. So I have Things Fall Apart. I usually mess up the order, but I'm sorry. I usually mess up the order. But I know the first book is Things Fall Apart. From this, I don't know which one comes next, but just check my previous video and you know more detail about it. So yes, I think it's time to get into this trilogy, and I'm excited really to read it. And yeah, and also I think probably I will add, I think I'll add maybe the next video of my impression, but I don't know if I'll make a separate video or not. But hopefully, for sure, I'll shoot another video to give you guys my impression of what I think about it. I don't know how long it's gonna be, and I don't know when this video will be published, but one thing I know, after I'm finishing my current read, these are the books that I'm gonna read next. Weeks later, I read Things Fall Apart and No Longer at Ease. I didn't read Arrow of God, so I'm gonna tell you why I didn't read Arrow of God. So to give you a context, I just realized that I'm not a series person. I've never read a series back to back. It's always, I'll read the first book and then maybe later on I'll read the second book. But this is my second time reading a series. So the Chinua Achebe trilogy, of course it's a trilogy, it has 3 books. I decided to inflict myself a Nigeria bend, meaning I decided not to read books by Nigerian authors for a while. I haven't put a timestamp on it, but I want to stay away from Nigerian authors for a bit and just discover other African authors, like from Central Africa, South Africa, any other place other than Nigeria. So when I started reading the Chinua Achebe trilogy, I said this will be the last books that I'll read from Nigerian author, and after that I'll start my band and start discovering other African authors. So that's the first part of my context. And also, I think I was satisfied with the 2 books. And by the time I finished the second book, No Longer At Ease, I think I was tired to stay in the same setting. I'll explain myself. So when I read, my mind is full on. I'm imagining myself in the setting, whether it's in the village, whether it's in the city. I'm imagining myself there, spending my time there, being there, following the characters. So with the first book, Things Fall Apart, the setting was the village of Omofia. And then the second book, No Longer At Ease, the setting was Lagos. And just a bit of Omofia. I think I just got tired of seeing the setting of people of Omofia, and by then I was already ready to start my Nigerian authors band. So I'm gonna get into Arrow of God. I don't know when, but I will eventually read it, but it's just not gonna be anytime soon. So let me tell you about, I'm gonna quickly give you the impression of the 2 books that I read from the trilogy, Things Fall Apart and No Longer At Ease. The first book, Things Fall Apart, is set in the village of Omofia. In what year was that? In 1800s. Yes. The second book, Things Fall Apart, was set in the village of Omofia in 1800s, and you can clearly see the culture of the people, how they are living, from how they celebrate their weddings, how they worship their ancestors, and how just they live in the community. You can see the beauty of the community, the beauty of the culture, and all that. And those things were prior to the missionary, the Christian missionary, coming to the village to spread the gospel and get pretty much half of the village convert to Christianity. So in Things Fall Apart, we have the main protagonist, Okonkwo, who is a mighty warrior. He's a man of honor, is a man who's after titles, and he's determined not to work in the path of his father. And then in this story, you have Okonkwo's son, Onye, who later on got renamed Isaac due to his conversion to Christianity. And his conversion to Christianity was not something that his father was happy about. Him being a man of tradition, a man of titles, a man of honor, a man who vowed to the culture of Omofia till he died. And throughout the book, you can see the clash between the tradition, the culture, and Christianity, which they consider as the new religion. And as I mentioned, that Onye decided to cut ties with his father Okonkwo because due to his conversion to Christianity. And that's pretty much the clash between the father and son going on here in the book. So the second book, No Longer Is, follow the story of Obi Okonkwo. Obi Okonkwo is the grandson of the warrior Okonkwo in Things Fall Apart. So Obi is the son of Onye. Onye, the son of Okonkwo. No Longer Is set in 1950s, although it's not in Omofia, but it's talking about the people of Omofia who left Omofia and moved to Lagos, and they have formed a union called the Union of the People of Omofia. I'm not sure, I'm just paraphrasing the name, but it's the Union of People of Omofia. So the people of Omofia have set like a scholarship fund to send their own son to go study abroad, so that when they come back, they'll start fighting or defending the interests of the people of Omofia, the clan. So that was the case with Obi Okonkwo. Obi Okonkwo was sent to England to go to law school to become a lawyer, and then after that come and start defending the cases for the clan. And being in London, Obi decided to follow his passion. Didn't go to law school. He studied English because he was very much into literature, poetry. So coming back to Lagos to start his life, you can clearly see him clashing with his people, because him being abroad for so long, his perspective from life has tremendously changed. He didn't see things the same as the people that he left 4 years ago, and you can see them clashing here and there. And one thing I like about No Longer Is I can relate to this reality in a way that of just reflecting on myself, spending a lot of time abroad, and if I ever were to go back to my home country and live, how do you approach life? How do you approach relationship? Looking at the fact that you've been abroad for so long, you don't see things the same, perspectives have changed, preferences have changed, and there are always going to be clashes, but how do I approach it? But one thing I noticed with Obi at first, that's just my opinion, I didn't think he approached things in a genuine way. I don't think he was humble about it, or he didn't handle things with care. He came out across as somebody who wanted to tell people what to do, to get people to change all of the sudden. You wouldn't even think that was his background. That was the people, that was the culture that raised him. So I think he came across as not humble. He came across as a prideful person. And that's why there was a lot of clash between him and the people of Mafia in Lagos. And one of the things also is the author tackling the subject of corruption, because there's also a cultural clash between Nigerians and the British, who at the time was very much hands-on into the Nigerian government, the Nigerian workforce, and how Nigerians felt like this was their country. They had no business submitting to the foreigners. And also the foreigners thinking like, okay, we are here, but those Nigerians are doing too much. Even when it came to the concept of the leave, how there was a law in the workforce that had to allow the people to have a village leave. That means a leave where they can visit their loved one and their families in the village, because some of the people in Lagos, they were not from Lagos. I'm sorry, but I have to quickly wrap up this video because honestly my phone is acting up. So I'll just end by saying that between the two books, Things Fall Apart and No Longer Is was my favorite read. So I hope you enjoyed this video of picking a book from my TBR jar, and leave me a comment, tell me if you heard about this book. I know they are really popular, and let me know if you're also planning or reading something from your TBR list. Just let's chat about it in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye.